you ever felt out of place? Well, imagine yourself feeling that way all the time because you have a disability. I work with people who have disabilities, so I know firsthand how it feels. Many people are discriminated against because they have a disability. Today, we're going to look at this from the view of getting a job, accommodations in public places, and respect in general. According to a writer who goes by the name of Scholastica Keith, people with disabilities can't always get jobs because employers discriminate inadvertently. Even though the Department of Labor states that discrimination is not allowed in any way, some places still do it subtly. For example, some workplaces don't have ramps leading to the doors, so if a person can't get to work, they can't work there. In other places, they won't allow guide dogs to work there, so if they're blind, they're unable to work there. And yet other places won't allow the spending for machines that help people with disabilities to work there, such as machines that print in Braille. Even if they're not trying to be employed, they still face issues just by being in public. Certain public places are hard for people with disabilities to access, for example, because of cracked sidewalks. The sidewalks are cracked, as in this example, a wheelchair can't always get over the cracks to get to their destination. In other situations, there's no ramp to the door, so they can't reach the door from wherever they began. Third thing is restrooms lack the railings that's needed for certain people with disabilities to use the restroom. These railings, according to Care Pathways, only cost about $200 to install, but a lot of places still won't have them. Lastly, if sidewalks aren't shoveled, a person in a wheelchair can't get from their car to wherever they'd like to go. Not always is discrimination physical, but sometimes it's verbal or gestural. For example, racial slurs have been stopped, but there's still slurs regarding people with mental disabilities that are used often. And according to the Washington Post, Special Olympics is trying to get people to stop using these slurs and raise awareness about how wrong they are. Another thing people do is they stare. I interviewed one of my coworkers, Kayla Heck, and she said that many times when at the mall with someone who has a disability, they are stared at constantly, and that makes them uncomfortable. Lastly, people sometimes ask questions that make the person with a disability feel very uncomfortable because they're inappropriate. So today, I told you about how people with disabilities face discrimination every day. I told you about how finding a job is difficult, how running a normal errand can cause problems, and how they are sometimes disrespected. So the next time you feel out of place or see someone with a disability, think about what it would be like to be in their shoes.